matchup here. Let's find out who has the edge in this series as we get into the draft of game number 1 of T1 versus Team Spirit. What heroes are we going to see getting banned out and picked up? Ooh, the Venge, and of course the Magnus and the Tide taken out by T1. You don't want to give Team Spirit their Magnus. It's a very scary hero for them.
I'll tell you, I can almost guarantee a Beastmaster or a Lycan in this game. I just, there's no way we're gonna go a 4th game without one of these guys showing up.
What about some
must be seen?
Yeah, what about some Mars and Axe when it comes to Team Spirit? These boys, they just love them. They also have all of these Chens and whatnot on the side of Miposhka, but Omni Knight, okay, like you guys talked about it quite a bit in the first series. It wasn't banned, it wasn't picked, but here we go, first phase.
It's so good, like especially if you pair it up with the Sven. It doesn't really have to be a Sven, it could be any other hero. It just has so much utility, so hard to kill. I was, again, also surprised that we didn't get to see this hero in the first series as well. This hero has also been terrorizing pub games at the moment.
And Team Spirit has been banning it out, by the way, when they were playing versus the game that you mentioned, the series versus PSG LGD. Spirit was banning out Omni Knight. They just didn't want to play against that, so now they have to.
When you are scouting out teams, like who you want to play against, you oftentimes do look at the heroes that they ban, even if it might not be one of your signature heroes or your top picked heroes. Like you would start to prioritize that a little bit more, as long as you understand why that team banned it out against other teams. So I think, T1, Cuckoo, you got March there, their coach, they got a lot of high Dota IQ individuals. They probably figure some draft out that they can implement this Omni Knight into, and they figured out also why it's so good against Spirit.
Why do you say only Dota IQ? Like, are they not overall high IQ or?
I just know that they're good at Dota, so I can't really, talk for them in terms of other things.
Okay, I see. But I completely agree with you when it comes to the bans. Actually, when I was preparing a long time ago, in my somewhat competitive career, I would pay more attention to the bans than to the first few picks, because the first few picks usually did go hand in hand and completely depended on what heroes were banned, and also you would get a very good insight into what teams consider to be strong.
Yep, that is, especially when you're watching there it is again. What? The Clinks.
Wow. Okay. Surprising. I mean, I was really expecting to go for one of these strength carries, but like a Lycan or a Sven or something like that. But they go Omni Clinks. I mean,
they
why
still
not?
might. The Clinks could be the mid laner for T1, which we have seen being used, and I think has a lot of potential there too. Because again, it just farms so fast, like in jungle, and creates so much chaos. You just have to play a little bit differently if you have another carry on your lineup.
The only problem is usually you would want to see Karl on something more space creating, playmaking, right? Because you have 23 Savage with you. And he's more of this, just let me farm and I'll win the game for you kind of a guy. But I can see it happening, definitely.
I was actually taking a peek at 23 Savage profile, and there wasn't a lot of Clinks in there. I think there was like one Clinks in his 20 games, and he lost that. Maybe not having too much confidence in the hero as well. When some of these new heroes come out, sometimes you don't really pick it up that quickly, especially if it's not a hero that you like to play
10 seconds
previously. But it's very important to adapt and pick up the new trends.
As soon as
who
possible.
has been playing it on T1?
Have they been drafting? I don't think they've been drafting it, actually. Like on T1, you can see the Omni Knight, but like you said, Nomad, it's been picked with Omni Knight plus Sven, these kind of strength heroes that go on, or Slark even. I believe it's been banned, right? No, Slark hasn't been banned. Peculiar. But yeah, they might have watched the first series and saw something that everyone else did in Clinks.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah.
Phantom Lancer also getting taken out. I'm telling you, man, I'm feeling the Beastmaster. It's coming. It's coming.
Just looking at some pub data here. Carl has played in the last 8 days. He's played Clinks twice and lost both games.
10
Meanwhile,
seconds remaining.
our boy 23 Savage has played it 5 times and is 3 and
5
2. So
seconds remaining.
Oh, he
Not
played.
as
Yeah,
bad.
there you go. The 3 wins, 2 losses, good enough.
it'll do. It'll do. Yeah, good enough.
It's positive in rate. By the way, PL banned out. Same in the last game. I don't think you can. I'm not sure because of the recent changes with Clinks, and I haven't seen way too many matchups. But PL, these illusion based heroes should still do really well against him. That's the reason why we saw PL TB banned out in the last game, and then Naga picked up versus him. So yeah, just or it could be the Beastmaster as well that Eben said could be picked up here.
Definitely a lot better now than it was in the previous patches playing Clinks against Illusion Heroes. At least you got that wave clear and you got the Maelstrom that can proc off of it too as it hits targets. But yeah, it's still a very rough matchup if they can get on top of you with all the illusions. I think LGD in the last game had a good way of dealing with the previous game had a good way of dealing with the illusions with the Monkey King and the Clinks together. Like under the Wukongs, the illusions just didn't exist anymore.
Plus the
volley from
Underlord,
Clinks.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then there was also the Underlord factor, exactly.
Well, one thing that I really liked
10
against
seconds
Clinks and
remaining.
DOD in those last 2 games are these mid laners with high reach.
5
So your
seconds
Storm Spirits,
remaining.
your Void Spirits. Clinks isn't really building anything against that besides the BKB that he eventually gets. So could be nice for Team Spirit.
Long time in the second ban phase, has to be said. They're really milking it, trying to figure out exactly what the enemy teams are up to. I mean, are we certain this Pangolier is going to be offlane for Team Spirit? Is there a possibility it's 4, shift the Phoenix to 5, and get something which can protect the egg, and maybe get on top of that Clinks a little more in the offlane?
It's possible, right? They did play. Like Mira could take it, and then you have collapse on his signature Mars that is still in the pool. Mars Phoenix versus Clinks as well sounds solid, but
Could be nice.
it would be a bit
Dire
greedier.
team pick.
Yeah, and Clinks now does have a way to answer the arena as well with his Burning Barrage, because that unfortunately goes through the arena walls, so not quite the counter it used to be. But Team Spirit, they're going to pick up the Spirit Breaker. I guess Team Spirit, Spirit Breaker kind of checks out. Got to keep that branding strong.
Well, it's going to be some real full divide Dota right now.
Really is.
And there's a Snapfire for the counter to the Phoenix as well, so they got two heroes that can kill Egg nicely here.
Wow.
I want to say Spirit Breaker's popularity has increased because now he does double the damage with his bash against creeps. Like he farms
10
fast.
seconds remaining.
Like you can charge across the map and just clear a wave in
5
seconds
seconds
and then just
remaining.
be charging across the map again to the next wave or be in a fight. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of Spirit Breaker in the upcoming months.
Yep, there's also a couple of different reasons too, right? You don't really want to play Spirit Break versus Spirit Breaker plus Somni, so maybe that's something that they've seen recently abused quite a bit, that they've stolen, and it should be solid versus Clinks. Right? It's one of those heroes that likes to go invis, run across the map. Spirit Breaker historically is amazing versus all those Ricky's bounties. Charge them, give vision, and they go with the illusion-based hero. They
That's
go
a really
with
good
the
point.
TB. Kind of dangerous versus Snap, but I guess they
Yeah, and
like the
we've-
matchup.
But we
Could
already
also be-
saw Clinks versus Naga, right? And the Clinks did all right there. Go ahead, Steven.
Oh yeah, I was
10
gonna say it's
seconds
also
remaining.
it could be really difficult against the Doombringer too because you don't have any saves
No,
on the
no.
side of Team
5
Spirit.
seconds remaining.
You have ways to counter initiate with the charge through. You got the Pango rolls and even the egg. But if you get doomed, even though you got their meta going, like they're gonna be able to burst you on the side of T1.
T1 as well, keep in mind, likes to play Doom mid lane too. So it doesn't have to be that
Radiant
off.
team
Carl
back.
has been playing a lot of Doom
Exactly.
mid. So that's something that's a possibility for T1.
Dire team
Be so
back.
farmed on this Doombringer from the mid position too.
Would it be a little slow to play into this very high-paced Team Spirit 3 heroes so far?
Well, to be fair, Team Spirit can't really bring their Terrorblade to all the fights. So
Yeah.
that kind of slows down their lineup. quite a bit, and they need to like
10
farm them up.
seconds
I think Doom's gonna have plenty of time just to get his items, and you just gotta get a Midas. But
5
I
seconds
feel
remaining.
most likely it is just gonna be the offlane Doombringer for Cuckoo. Like he loves going that phase boots into Midas and just farm up, get your items, play into their timings kind of build.
And it isn't really a difficult lane for him, right? Like Doom
Yeah.
offlane plus whoever's plus Snap, they should be completely fine versus TB and Phoenix. So
It's got good armor.
no reason, absolutely no reason to not play Doom on offlane unless there's something that he's really crushing mid. So we'll see. Most likely, I agree. Yeah, save the last pick for mid. Why not?
Are there any heroes Doom can crush middle?
There was.
Is there?
There was a patch in
Radiant's
which
team
I
ban.
vividly remember Doom crushing Thompson no matter what he was playing. Like,
Oh no.
yeah, but it was just a patch when everything changed and Doom, and I believe it was actually Puck that he was crushing that they just banned out.
Oh
so
wow.
yeah, probably not gonna see that.
Okie dokie.
10 seconds
Yeah, really
remaining.
like one thing you said. I mean, a lot of teams have been looking for the answer to this Clinks, and
5 seconds
I
remaining.
think it was you, Stephen, which said Spirit Breaker is a really nice answer to the Clinks because you can just charge him and follow him around. And that's true now more than ever. Like, because the way you play Clinks now is, I mean, similar to how you've always played him, but with Burning Barrage, he can clear waves super quickly. So you just take that
Radiant team pick.
that Shadow Walk cooldown talent, and then you just run out into a wave, deep into the map, blast a wave down super quickly, run away again. Spirit Breaker really makes that a much more risky affair. You don't really want to be doing that if you're Clinks. Now Zanking comes out for T1, which will confirm the Doom as a mid laner.
No, it doesn't have to be.
Sand King
They
mid,
can
actually.
play it.
10
They can play
seconds
Sand King
remaining.
mid as well. By the way, they played Sand King mid too quite a bit.
5 seconds
And
remaining.
it is just dumb flexing this, right? Both the Sanking and the Doom to the very end. They know Team Spirit still need to pick up likely their mid laner, unless that's a Pango mid, or maybe even a Spear Breaker mid. Not really sure, but like T1 just want to have still some of that flexibility available to themselves. But that being said, Sanking is an incredibly good hero against Terrorblade.
Yeah,
Choose
yeah,
your
for sure.
hero.
So this is Spirit Breaker core or Pango? Wait,
It's both cores. Pango and Spear Breaker cores.
all right.
Yep.
This
So
is
it's
gonna be
offlane
a-
Spirit Break. Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, we got a game, boys. This is looking
We do.
good. Man,
Yep.
T-Spirit are going to be fighting nonstop. T1 here. They got the Sanking offlane and the Doom middle. Like, they're going to need to get some items. They need that Blink Dagger. On the SK, Doom still needs to get to, like, Midas and BKB. Oh, man. This is going to be a fun game.
This is gonna be mad.
It's literally two of the most aggressive regions clashing at the moment. It's
Yeah.
CIS and SCA, so these two drafts are definitely on brand. Liking it a lot. I feel like T1 might have a slight advantage with the Clinks being perhaps a little bit more active early on, but then again, it's a Spirit Breaker core. I can't go against that. Let's see what Collapse can do.
Very Devi. Very Devi. So you're going for Team Spirit, Lizard?
It's so hard. But yeah, sure. Why not? Let's go with the Spirit
right.
Breaker.
You know,
I
whenever
like
I
it.
see Miposhka on Disruptor, this guy's an absolute beast on this hero. I don't even know. I think he might be the best Disruptor player in the world. But T1, though, I got to go with the boys from SCA here. I think they know what they're doing.
I love how you both represent your regions here, and you know, as the only unbiased panel member, you know, I'm gonna cast my vote, and I'm gonna go for T1. It has to be. I think when it comes to like experience and just how well the team's been performing over the past few months, I think T1 narrowly edge it out. I really like this Clinks hero. I think the TB is going to be the liability in this draft, so I'm gonna go for Team Spirit. Sorry for T1. So let's throw it over to our casting duo for this game as we have Mo Farah and BK taking it away for game number 1.
Thank you very much, Nomad. Team Spirit, T1. Do you have either or both, Mo?
What do you mean both?
I don't know. Nomad just confused himself twice. He technically has both.
Oh,
You know, he said he wanted T1, then he wanted Team Spirit, then he wanted T1. It's got
that's
both.
true. I'm a big Spirit fan. I love these guys. They've come on a long way. I've got to see them play so much. I would say I think Collapse is the massive MVP of this team. I think it's well established now, almost, that a lot of people think that. And
30 seconds
I'd be
to battle.
really surprised if he doesn't keep getting first phase band focused.
Right.
Like the Mars doesn't feel that great anymore, and then the Tide and the Mag both get banned first phase against Spirit. So, yeah, I think he's the big momentum. They're playing Core Spirit Breaker this game, which is really fun. But I have to go for T1, I think, in my head. But my heart says Spirit B-Cop, so technically I do have both.
Guys can't do
The
this.
battle begins.
Prediction on Twitch doesn't let you pick both, and people are relying on you guys with their points. You're out here picking both.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I'm a little bit worried for if T1, if this Sand King doesn't have a great game. I think he should. If he doesn't, I don't think they control tempo very well in the game. And Spirit are going to run at them non-stop with this Disruptor, with this Spirit Breaker. They're going to want to fight. And you need the Sand King to have farm to be ready. Like, I think his blink time is going to be really key this game. A little bit worried for their damage output as well on T1, but I think it should be fine.
So at what point are Team Spirit enabled to kind of just run at this T1 lineup?
Whenever they want.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, they need the level 6 on the Phoenix, really would help a lot, obviously. And I don't know what item build the Pangolier is going to go for, but they don't necessarily need the Blink because they have the Spirit Breaker, right? And they have the Glimpse available.
I guess it really depends on how the laning goes, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it always does, though, right?
Well, yeah, but you could also have a bad lane still come out like Undying in game 1 of that LGD series. They had a bad start to the lane 8 minutes in and then just ran it LGD and ultimately, ended up winning that game.
I'm really surprised Kuki's gone Sandstorm at level 1. You don't see this a huge amount anymore.
They are taking a lot of harassment bottom, though.
Yeah, they are. I mean, this is they're pushing the wave in to make sure they get their level 2 first, so that Dire don't. Because I think if T1 get their level 2 first, they have so much kill potential with like the Burrow Strike and the double nuke from the Snapfire. So they need to make sure they hit the 2 so they can try and get this like pull off on the Disruptor or something.
Going out that Scatter Blast, trying to do as much damage as he can there to Yatoro. Got level 2 for both Cuckoo and Zephyr. Ooh.
That was. I mean,
that was close.
This Doom's owning mid. Like, he's doing really well, especially with the regen war. Whitemon.
Charge over on the Whitemon. There's dive right on top of him as well, taking a lot of damage here. 23, trying to maybe get a kill before that first blood comes out, but Mira will get credit for that first blood. I think that's honestly my biggest question is, during the draft, what was Whitemon eating? Because I swear every draft he's always eating like a breadstick or like caramel squares. It's always something. It was always something during the DPC, and then I'm pretty sure he was eating something during the ESL drafts.
It's his thinking food, B-Cop.
Yeah.
I did agree with you, though. I found it quite funny that, yeah, in every draft when his camera came on, just having a good time, you know? Oh, Cuckoo.
He inspired us. We were buying breadsticks in Romania when we got to watch him. Ooh, good little move there by Maposhka, but an even cooler move there by Cuckoo.
Yeah, look at this Carl Doom, though, just crushing this lane at the moment.
Yeah, 26 and 3.
Tower is under attack.
I'm gonna get up to salve up.
A great time thus far. Charge comes in from Collapse, who will eat some right clicks there from 23 Savage. And then Zephyr on the run, but Yatoro gets a quick kill there on Zephyr. It's caught by that kinetic field, and that's going to be a kill in the Snapfire.
Oh, just has to run out of Sandstorm as well straight away because they have that sentry down, so Cuckoo really not having a great time down here. He's so far behind in net worth as well. And this is the good thing about Spirit Breaker and lane, I will say. Obviously, you just TP back to base, just charge back to lane.
Yeah.
Easy peasy.
Maybe not as quick as like a Nature's Prophet going back to lane, but you're getting there.
No. If it stops you buying regen, though, then it's pretty good.
I will say though, bottom's not going well for T1, but mid and top have been quite all right.
It's like we said though that if the Sankey doesn't have a good time though, I feel like he might be the most important hero for their draft, honestly.
Charge and a bash. 23 in trouble. Another bash coming in from Collapse, and Mira will get the kill onto the Clinks. The look for Whitemon. Collapse thinking about charging under the tower. Salve pop by Whitemon, so that'll fix that idea.
This is really bad for Clinks as well because the lane's pushing in, so he's going to miss out on all the XP.
We're gonna TP back to base.
This Spirit Breaker is so tanky as well. With the Bracer, he has so much HP, and then he has the Chainmail now on top for the armor. He has Phase Roots coming out in the courier now as well.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified. Radiant are scanning.
Get owned. I think if you play Spirit Breaker, sometimes it takes a while to get used to the attack animation. Feels a bit weird to last it with sometimes. Something else I was going to mention earlier. I think Bcop is having some problems. You've just got me for a second. Lucky you.
I can still. I've come back. My Dota just crashed. I still have the obs feed though. Whitemon
you're fine then.
getting a little bit low. Rolling Thunder coming through. Collapse gets the kill on a Whitemon.
I was going to say before something that is worth mentioning this game. Oh, Cookie. Oh, almost dodged by Mira.
Scatterblast Mira. He's gonna fall. Charge comes in onto the Doom. Carl though, maybe thinking about turning.
Cuckoo.
He's in some trouble. He's got Burrow Strike, but I don't think that's enough distance. And now they've got the vision on him. One more right click. Yatoro will get that kill.
Look at the Spirit Breaker. Sorry, the TV's net worth in comparison to the Sand King. What a really rough bot lane this is for T1.
Similar to the matchup we saw where Faith Beyond was almost getting doubled in net worth.
Yeah. Yeah, back to my original point. Collapse playing Spirit Breaker. Is this something he's done a huge amount of before? I didn't get a chance to look it up, but I feel like it's something a bit different.
We've certainly been seeing more Spirit Breakers since like ESL, that's for sure.
Let's see if I'll have a quick look while you cast. Hang on.
All right, I'll do that. I got it. Whitemon, let's see. He's not having the best of games in the moment. His top lane has gone okay for T1, but losing 23 in that top lane kind of slowed it down a little bit, and he's now behind this TB. And Yatoro, yeah, like you said, compare him to Cuckoo's net worth, and he is quite far ahead. Top lane, OG coming in from Collapse. And they've got the help from the Omni Knight with that level 2 the Heavenly Grace. Bash is coming through, Sunray out. 23 trying to survive, and what? 23, he
realized he was dead.
And I guess realized he was dead. Digs with the trusty shovel and gives up his life. And now the charge is coming out on a Whitemon, which will stop Mira from dying. The purification was on him, but Whitemon now taking a lot of damage. All they need is one more bash, but the salve will be popped. And Whitemon will survive for now. Was he dead if he just ring around the Rosie the tower?
Oh, they're gonna go mid as well.
Used on the Pango. Toronto Tokyo are gonna try and survive, but looking very unlikely as Carl will clean that kill. And actually, the Cookie goes over Miposhka, who will drop down the kinetic field and stop Carl from moving in. I'm going to put the Sunray on to this Doom, chase Carl out, but again, they've got that glimpse, which will put him into the hands of Yatoro. It'll end up with Miposhka dying, but Carl will fall in response. He buys out, though, on the Midas before he's dead.
So much gold, though, for the TB, just to come in. Sweeps up 361 gold for killing the Doom. That's one big jungle creep. Are they going to try and push it? I guess they could at least force rotations. I mean, the TB's already popped meta, so they might as well. Disruptor's getting level 6 bot.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They'll use that glyph. Toronto Tokyo stepping up, just putting some damage in onto the tier 1 tower. Waymon trying to soak up experience in the top lane while 23 is in the jungle.
Oh, they see 23 Savage. They don't want to give away the ward, though.
Dire's middle tower.
Amira just trying to use that information maybe to go in onto the Clinks.
The charge coming... Oh, no, they cancelled. Okay.
Yeah, it got stopped. There's that burning barrage over on the middle lane. Goes back to the camp that he just stacked. We'll throw out some right clicks and try to farm as best he can. Oh, the TB is also under a ward here. So they know where Yotaro is. He's going into this early Manta. And right now there is a double stack of those Ancients that's under vision.
This Pango's not doing as well as I would have hoped for him to be doing at this point in the game. If you're a Spirit fan, you'd be hoping that this guy had a little bit more. Did have that death before, unfortunately, but even so.
Just seems like he's gotten pressured and Toronto Tokyo's kind of losing safe spots to feel like he's comfortable farming. Because he's sitting mid and just pushing the wave, and we had TB over in the triangle over in that area of the jungle. I want to see where Toronto Tokyo goes next. Meanwhile, top lane, Carl and Zephyr smoked. But doesn't look like they'll find anybody.
This Doom, when he gets Hood, is going to be really difficult to kill.
And he's quite farmed at the moment, which is
He's
making
so
up
close
a
already.
majority of that 1k net worth lead that T1 do have. And I believe Sand King has his blink, so I wouldn't be surprised to see T1 smoke up. Use this blink dagger to try and make a big play, especially with Carl having Doom available. And we'll pick up this Hood.
No, no, Spirits seem to be sitting into this rhythm of just being happy to just farm at the moment, right? Which I think the heroes farm nowhere near as quickly as the Dire side do.
Regeneration.
Yeah, especially Doom, who's got the Devour as well as the Midas, and you're working with Clinks, who's
they
already
smoke
picked up
without
that
the Sand
Maelstrom
King?
as well.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah, Sand King's sitting top. Hasn't shown himself just yet. They went bottom without the Sand King, and Carl's here with the Doom ready to go, but without the Sand King, I just don't think that you have the proper lockdown and pressure. Cuckoo, he's been spotted, so they know he's got that blink, or at least they should know if they've checked his inventory. I'm gonna assume they did. A little bit of a lead extension there for T1, getting the 2k ahead. I just think that maybe Team
nice
Spirit have kind of played a bit too conservative. The Rolling Thunder does come in. It's on a Cuckoo. We got the Swashbuckle, and he'll try to survive with the help of the pig pole, but nowhere close to surviving that one, as the pressure on from Team Spirit in the top lane is enough to get the kill.
They're just falling behind in net worth though at the same time. They've got 4 heroes up here to take this bot tier 1, but you see at the bot in the bot lane at the same time, like they're trying to pressure back the same with just the supports while the cores are farming.
Right.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
And granted, that is also
Dire's top tower.
probably the Doom split in net worth, right? Oh, actually, I guess the Clinks too, right?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Yeah, for
Dire's
sure.
structures
It's
are
the 2
fortified.
big cores on the Dire side that are
Radiant's
farming really
bottom
well,
tower is under attack.
making up the gap.
They have vision of Yotaro. They want to make a move and try and get this kill. Again, they do have that blink dagger on the Sand King ready to go and make a move. But
I'm
yeah,
hoping-
they haven't really done much with it yet.
Radiant's
Yeah, I'm hoping we
bottom
get to see when
tower
the
is
Doom
under
gets
attack.
Blink and the Sand King has one as well, that they'll go for the big fights, but...
And this slow pace, I would say, has to benefit T1, right?
Oh,
Comes
White
back,
One.
Kinetic Field. The Heavenly Grace on himself. They drop down the Static Storm. They're going to try and get this kill, and we'll finish him off. They have the Sunray on top of him, as well as those Fire Spirits burning out Whitemon. So another kill there, making it 9-3 in favor of Team Spirit.
Oh, the charge?
They've got the Doom as the charge comes in, and now Mortimer's Kiss is laid down. Kinetic Field is there. Gotta block them out from getting this kill, I believe, onto the Spirit Breaker. Also, that Supernova deters them from moving in even further. I don't think this Doom is enough damage, so actually Collapse will survive it all.
That was weird. He's like, oh my god, a hero, and he just dooms him straight away. Like, without, you know.
Following it up.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it could have been okay, but...
Wimps on a Zephyr. Charge coming in. Got the Sunray. They have the Rolling Thunder. Fire Snap Cookie. Ooh, avoiding the Rolling Thunder, but that's not going to keep him alive. And that'll be the 10th kill there for Team Spirit. Again, all this while Yatoro is farming. But 23 Savage comes in. Should have a kill here on Miposhka, especially with the help coming through from Cuckoo with that Burrow Strike. That Blink Dagger to cover the ground. And now they're going to go after Collapse for a second. 23 might even focus his attention onto Mira. Cuckoo, he does have Blink in a second, as well as the Burrow Strike if they want to make this move onto the Phoenix. 23 right under his nose. Carl denies the tower. There's the Blink as well as the Burrow Strike as the Icarus dive is going off. They get the kill on Mira. Now Yatoro is trying to turn this. Maybe get a kill there on a Cuckoo, but they've got the Purification to keep him alive.
Yeah, really great fight. I mean, Spirit do end up taking the mid-tier one, which is great for them, but... I don't know. The good thing with them is at least the TV's farming well, right? Like, he's keeping up with this Midas Doom pretty well.
Radiant are scanning.
So that's something, but... I don't know, the supporting cast are not having the best time.
No.
But we should say, you know, that the heroes that they have on Team Spirit, apart from the TV, aren't item-dependent. You know, they can fight without items. So even if they fall behind a little bit in net worth, they are still going to be willing to take these, you know, engagements.
They're charging towards Whitemon, but that'll put him into the hands of the Doom if Collapse wants to commit to this, and he'll stop about 66% of the way towards that Omni Knight. There's been a lot of talks about how strong Omni Knight is and how strong Heavenly Grace is. Why don't we see this hero even more than we do now? They're gonna charge and... Okay. Cuckoo gets hit, blinking into the charge.
Tower.
Yeah, tried to blink stun him, but got a little bit too close. It happens. A Ring of Aquila for the TB. Thank you very much, he says.
And a Fey Grenade.
Oh, imagine if you could bash off the grenade.
Collapse now gonna charge towards mid. For just a split second. And I assume, yeah, Collapse is going to take the Fey Grenade. He's got 20 more movement speed with that. Always welcomed.
Well, the good thing about the grenade as well is doesn't it give vision when you hit somebody with it? So if you grenade them and then you can charge them from away afterwards if you want.
Ooh, Epicenter Collapse in trouble. The damage coming in, they'll get the kill onto the Spirit Breaker. So he charged towards those creeps, leaving him vulnerable. And now the Rolling Thunder comes down to Carl with the Sunray, Static Storm, all this damage onto the Doom, Swashbuckle, but oh, he's a very farm Doom. He's got a BKB, and he will survive. That's right. They gambled, they lost. But only that encounter.
Well, I don't know.
And, you know, kind of ends even.
They got the BKB out of the Doom, so it could be worse, but yeah, definitely not good.
I guess Ty goes to the dealer anyway. Which would be Spirit, I guess.
Has he got... Oh, okay, no, he's going Blink on Doom next. Alright.
He's not too far off of it. Right, he is just farming at pretty absurd pace at the moment, but this is something we've been pretty accustomed to seeing with these Dooms. Burrow Strike, Mortimer's Kisses coming in on Miposhka. He's going to be run down here by Zephyr as well as Cuckoo. And it's...
What's Zephyr building? On the Snapphire?
Zephyr going Blink Dagger as he's got Arcane Boots and Mech.
Okay. It's pretty good. I think being able to kite around the fights on these support heroes is something we see more and more with the Blinks. We saw Mumiander going Blink earlier on the Mirana as well, if you remember.
Well, remember that game with Jinkyu, I believe. It was DPC, I want to say, which secured LGD the Hana Major. He went Blink, got the shard on Snapfire, and just did work with it.
Sapphire's a fun hero.
Very. And in the right hands can be devastating.
Terrifying.
Yeah. But again, it's just a slow-paced game at the moment where Klink's, he's keeping up with the TV.
17.
Yeah, he's got Scotty and Dragonlance as well as the Maelstrom already. The farm is pretty outrageous from him, and now Team Spirit, they're trying to make a play. They're trying to find something, but yeah, Whitemon will show himself. They've got the charge coming in, and there's the barrage coming out from 23. They're going to go into the Metamorphosis, but the Barrel Strike hits from Cuckoo, looking for the epicenter to follow it up. They've got the G coming in for the Terrorblade. They should have the damage to get this kill. They'll take out Whitemon, but in return is a Terrorblade of Yataro. Toronto, Tokyo, Swashbuckler doesn't get down to the low ground either with a shield crash. Oh, dear. That's 2 big kills there for T1, and they're looking for more. They smell blood in the water, and they really want to take advantage, and they will. They'll get the +1 on Mira, and this ends right by the tier 1 mid.
It feels like that had to be the fight that went well for Spirit. You know, they've hit this timing in the game where the Pango and the Spirit Breaker are going to start to fall off slightly if this next fight doesn't go well for them.
Right.
So not only do they win this fight now, but they can like think about heading into the Roche Pit relatively soon when they have their spells back up again on T1, I think.
23 finds Maposhka. That barrage will come in and get them a 4th kill technically in this engagement. They got the tier 1 mid. They got 4 kills. The Doom works out and getting the kill on the TB, slowing him down, and now puts 23 as well as Carl in front of this Terrorblade of Yatoro. And then there's a big gap on that from Collapse, or to Collapse, I would say.
Hold on to your taters.
T1 right now, I would say, have played a pretty clean game.
Good charge. Yes, they TP though.
He still might get caught here.
Top tower is under attack.
He's fine.
Just don't get there quickly enough.
The waves die so quickly. Ridiculous.
So, Team Spirit, they're down 7k, and it felt like the slow pace was helping T1, and it certainly has, especially after a fight like that. What do Team Spirit need to do to turn this around? It feels so tough for them.
I don't think they can come back into the game by farming is the problem, right? With the Spirit Breaker core. But they also can't fight without their TB having meta up. But at the same time they can have meta up, Doom gets his ult. So I really worry for Spirit that I don't know at what point in the game they're going to be able to take a 5-on-5. Unless they somehow blow up the Doom before he gets his spells off, but I just don't see that happening.
It's a tough ask when you've got an Omni Knight giving Heavenly Grace over for 50% status resistance, as well as 38 bonus strength and 30 HP regen.
Bonkers, isn't it?
Such a disgusting spell. Static Storm as well as the Sunray on Zephyr. He's getting charged, but a two-man stun. Zephyr might die, but he's happy to do so if they can get the life of 2. And now they've got the purification. He won't even die. So Zephyr stands his ground and survives. And now they've got the Doom on the Pangolier, and this is while they're taking Roche. So Carl, is he even going to die? Charge comes in. They've got a TP coming through, but the Blink Burrow Strike, they were looking for the ult, and that's going to save Carl. And now the ult once again, and it Yules. So Cuckoo, he ends up dead.
Savage.
And 23 in some trouble. Rolling Thunder. Uh-oh. 23 may have bitten off more than he could chew, but they've got the purification, and Whitemon TP's in to give the Sunder over. T1?
Radiant are scanning.
I mean, the blessing is that 23 Savage somehow didn't end up dying.
Dire's structures are
I mean, that fight went so well top. I don't know why Kyle felt like he needed to force the fight in the bot lane as well. Like, yeah, maybe if you get the pick off onto the Pango, it could be okay, but you have no idea who's behind him.
Dire's bottom tower.
And then all of a sudden, your Tora just turns up.
Yeah. And then you
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
TP mass numbers and lose them. Such an odd exchange from T1. Maybe almost overconfident. Thinking that they could just run through that. Because that gives back almost the entirety of their advantage. In terms of net worth, at least.
Yeah, that's a big, big swing. I'm just really shocked they got to give it to them, basically.
On a silver platter. We were talking about how hard it's going to be to kill these heroes with the Heavenly Grace, and it ends up not being that difficult when they run right into you. Now,
don't bash him out the ult.
In trouble. Burrow Strike away, survives the Static Storm, but gets glimpsed back, still on the run, and they've got the dust ready to go when he goes into the Sandstorm. There's a Silver Edge finished off for Collapse. He's going into the Ags next. Blink looking for the stun. Mira, though, TPing out. He'll be fine.
Dire's bottom tower is under
Let's see, 23 wants Daedalus.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He wants
Radiant structures.
Daedalus with the Maelstrom, Scotty, and Dragonlance with BKB all ready to go. He's sitting level 21. But after that fight over bottom, TB's 3 levels behind. He's got Scotty, Manta, as well as the Lincolns with 1,700 gold saved up, technically ahead of this Clinks by a little bit with the BKB being popped. They've got themselves the Doom out onto the Terrorblade. They're going to Sunray to try and keep him alive. And now the Glimpse. And I'll try to help TB maybe be able to run away with the BKB running out. Sunray trying to keep him alive, and they get the kill on Yotaro. Now the look over is the Rolling Thunder is bouncing Carl up into the air. They've got the Swashbuckler. The Purification comes in from Whitemon to save him. Epicenter right there. Burrow Strike.
Good shield crash.
Shield is there. Shield crash. Ooh. Toronto, Tokyo. Ooh, juking, jiving, but eventually both cities have been conquered. Uku will get credit for that kill.
TB's the one guy you can't afford to get God on, unfortunately. Great initiation by the Doom. They recognize that he has Lincolns, so they break the Lincolns before he pops it as well with the Doom.
And that puts T1 kind of right back in the driver's seat.
I don't think
the
they were ever
Sages.
out of it, but
Radiant's middle tower.
They almost fumbled it, that's for sure.
yeah, they you know, took a bad corner. They recovered.
It's a pretty
This
quick
Omni
rush.
has to be dealt with in fights as well. If the Omni lives, the fights are really difficult.
To the Dire.
Oh, Mira. Duels up into the air, and there's the Burrow Strike. So
my
much
God.
damage so quickly, and 23 is now godlike.
With the little shredder and the physical damage from the Clinks. I think they have Medallion on the Snapfire as well. I think this shard on the Snapfire should do huge amounts of work. Be interesting to see how much it can get done with the stun.
I mean, that with the Blink Dagger is
Radiant
we've
are
seen
scanning.
devastating before.
Yeah, it's basically like being a Blink stun hero, isn't it?
Dire's bottom tower.
Like these kind of like Slardars and Centaurs and things and whatever in a pseudo sense.
Yeah, and that's with having a Blink stun hero on your team in the Sand King. So like you don't have to be the leader in that. You could be the follower and get a follow-up stun to get the lockdown to be even more.
I think having the chance to cancel charge as well with something else is really nice.
And just as he gets into your range.
Dire's
Yeah.
top tower
I mean, it's
is
difficult because he has like
Oh.
phase boots and bulldoze and things and whatever.
Yeah. It'll be certainly very tough.
Oh, what just?
Bottom lane, they get the breakout onto the Omni Knight. They're going to use that ult. They're going to try and get the kill here on a White Mom, but they just don't have the damage. 23 Savage
That
will
was so
stand his
weird.
ground and collapse now. Will TP out.
Dire's
too
top
low.
tower is under attack.
Coin of the realm.
Still holding about a 5,000 net worth lead. Really looking to hold on to that one. Got the Aegis on this Clinks, who is with Whitemon, and
I'll take your tribute.
as well as Zephyr, and just together it makes it feel like, I don't know, maybe Spirit just don't have the answers here to defend this
can't
bottom
fight.
lane.
They can't fight into the Aegis. That's the problem. Like, even if they come down, then they're going to let the tower go anyway. So they might as well force the other lanes in and try and force rotations back. Ooh, Savage.
Guess the question is, can they do that? And they force 23 Savage to go back.
Are fortified.
Yeah, they force the
Dire's
glyph.
structures are fortified.
They've got the creeps, they've got the burning army. They're going to try and protect 23 Savage. He can stand there within the burning army and make this very difficult for Team Spirit if they want to commit and try and save this. 23 Savage taking a little bit of damage right now. I know about half health, but he should be A-okay, at least for the moment. And they're looking like they're at least going to get the tier 3, and they do. So now he'll start on the set of racks.
Radiant bottom barracks are under attack.
And how do they fight this as well? You see the TV's not even really wanting to come back. They're just going to let them take a set of racks.
Radiant's bottom barracks has fallen. Radiant's bottom barracks are under attack. Radiant's bottom
That's
barracks
tough.
has fallen. Dire's middle tower.
In a
is
spot
under
like
attack.
this, giving up a set of racks, that's pretty heavy loss
Dire's
commitment.
top tower is
T1 are
under
going to start
attack.
running across the map here as well to try and push them out. Like, you'll start seeing the Spirit Heroes having to TP soon.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Truthfully, how safe can they feel? Yeah, they have to get back to their base.
He's almost got Axe on. Well, I say almost. He's about 2,000 gold away off Axe on the Omni, but at that point, he doesn't even have to stand in range. Like, it's such a ridiculous upgrade. The charge.
So 2,000 gold away from the Ags on the Disruptor. He's been trying to get that. Oh, they found the Queens for a second, but they're going to get the blink in. They'll pop the Linkers. They'll get the Doom out onto the Terror Blade.
Doom
Now the
the
Mortimer's
TV.
Kisses is coming through. They'll take out Yatoro. At 70 seconds without this TB, they get the Static Storm as well as the Kinetic Field. They've got the Purification. They're going to keep alive this Doom. The silence is no longer on him as the Static Storm runs out. The Storm is past. The Eye of the Storm is over them, and they'll get the kill in a collapse.
It's looking more and more difficult as time goes on now. Like we said, they're not scaling that particularly well. Like, the Sand King has less net worth than the Spirit Breaker, but he feels like he does a lot more, right?
Oh, he feels like he does way more.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Get that tier 2 over mid. No TB for 30 seconds. Glimpse back on the
just
Doom, but
glimpsed
what is
the-
this really doing?
Yeah. Do they have Aegis on the Clink still?
It's about to run out in just a
Okay.
second. But still, even with it running out, like, how do you fight into this? How do you make something happen? You're not killing the Clinks. Yes, you've helped for the TB to come back alive, but, I mean, that's a small victory compared to what T1 are getting in these exchanges.
Tower is under
Yeah.
attack.
and The thing for T1 is they don't even have to force the fight here if they don't want to, right? Like, there's so much time for them. As the game goes on, they're going to feel more and more favoured anyway, so they might as well just wait for the Roche. There's no rush.
Yeah,
I think he
quite
almost does Arcane
honestly,
Blink on Doom, that was.
Radiant are scanning.
quite honestly, like, what do you do? If your Team Spirit, it feels like you have to make a last-ditch
Yeah,
effort because you're going to lose most of the map, right?
I like this smoke. It does feel like this is the last go almost. They need to try and make something happen before the Doom comes back up again.
Almighty might.
Which is 35 seconds and could potentially be with a Arcane Blink. Ooh, instead buys out on the Refresher, I believe. They're going to go for the charge, but again, they've got the Heavenly Grace. This should keep 23 pretty healthy, and now they've got that ult. They'll glimpse back Whitemon. They're trying to get the kill here onto the Omni Knight, but he's so tanky, eating a lot of that damage. Finally, the Swashbuckle, as well as the damage coming from Yatoro, is going to be enough to get the kill onto the Omni Knight. They'll take him out for 47 seconds. He does not have buyback.
They needed more. I think it was a good attempt by them. They find the clinks, but the instant Heavenly Grace on the Omni just makes it so difficult for them.
And they'll get the kill on Maposhka as they're trying to retreat from this one. They did have to send the Pangolier back, and now they've got the Doom that's going to be out onto the Terrible once again. They've got the Burrow Strike as well as the kill on Yatoro. He's there for 70 seconds once more. Does not have buyback, nor is he close to having buyback. He's 1,000 gold off. They're going to TP Cuckoo bottom, push in that creep wave while they push in mid with 23 Savage. And at that point, Team Spirit need to try and defend pretty heavily to stay in this game.
Carl's enjoying himself.
Yeah, as you do when you're up 12k like that. Wiggins for both 23 and Cuckoo.
They're going to go for this here.
They're going to at least try. Very tough. Toronto, Tokyo with the Rolling Thunder, not really getting touched. And Carl, he picked up that refresher, so he's got Doom available again, but the Burrow Strike comes in. They get the kill on the Toronto, Tokyo. They'll get Pango gone for 80 seconds. Collapse trying to make something happen with the right clicks coming out on Amira. They'll get the kill on the Phoenix. He'll buy back immediately with the BKBs being popped by 23.
TB in 10 seconds.
There's the glimpse as well as the Static Storm that mutes up Carl, but he's so tanky. There's no extra damage to follow this up.
It looks like he's not taking any damage from the Static Storm. That's how much the Heavenly Grace is doing. Oh, Spirit Breaker's just out of here. He's like, see you later, guys.
I'll
push him top lane.
Yeah.
Don't worry, guys. I'll force them back. I think is he going to doom him?
I think he's looking to do so.
Again, there's still no rush for T1. If they want to back off here, they can wait for the Roche. There's a DD. They see bot. They can do whatever they want, really. The charge back again. La da 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 da.
20 seconds till Roche. They've got a double damage, so this is going to line up quite nicely if they spot it as it comes up and they have this double damage ready to go. Carl going to make his way over in 9 seconds.
What's the Clinks level 25 talent?
He has taken the plus 50/5% Death Pact health damage.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. The multi-shot feels so bad now.
And there's Roche with Shard. Ready to go. And he's got the Ags on Clinks. So he's got Burning Army. Ready to go. So easy Roche, no answers right now from Team Spirit. They have done nothing to really push back on this just yet.
Yeah, but Collapse is having a good time.
There's the Aegis on the 23.
At least TV has
that
BKB
shot?
queued up.
Yeah.
I think that was, but I honestly don't know what difference it makes. I think I would have liked to have seen him just try and build a damage item or something and just try and click people more. I don't know what difference the BKB is going to make against like a Doom and a Clinks.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
I don't know what difference any item he builds makes, but...
So they're going to try and defend, but they've got the Blink as well as the Burrow Strike coming in on Amira. And Toronto Tokyo over to the side. There's the first Doom. And again, he does have that refresher, but Disruptor lays down the Static Storm with this Axe. It's not going to do anything. They get the kill on Amira as well as Toronto Tokyo. They're going to buy back on the Pangolier. They look over at Yatoro, but the Burrow Strike comes in. They get the kill onto this Terrorblade who doesn't have buyback. Rolling Thunder in. Not even going to matter. The second Doom is put onto the Pangolier, and they will call GG on Team Spirit. T1 will take game one with pretty much complete ease.
Yeah, I mean, there was that one scary moment in the game for T1, right?
Right.
Where they fed the net worth lead a little bit back in the bot lane.
Right.
Next to their tier 1. But apart from that, it felt like they were always in complete control on T1. When you pick Spirit Breaker Core, what you need to do is shout to your team. This is what I do in my pubs. You have to shout, because I think I've told you this before, apes together strong.
Yeah.
And they didn't ape together strong enough. And that was that. I felt like the game was a bit too slow paced for the way they, probably originally wanted to play on Spirit. So